Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is GM Pyro coming to you from Team Itherverse, and we are here today to talk about how to use dndbeyond.com, and that's the letter N in there. We're using this website and this tool to build a character and to store a character, and we're specifically talking about the use of that character in the Itherverse the Fantasy Turn-Based Game, but of course you could utilize this tool for any game system. Having said that, let's focus our attention real quickly on, well, of course, this is a great resource. It's a compendium. It's got all kinds of information that you would find in most of the books. We're going to focus today on the character builder, which if you go to the website and click on characters and slide down to character builder, you'll get to the page I'm on here. I think there's a big button that says create a character right in the middle of the screen. In any case, there are three methods to create a character. I want to focus a lot of this attention on how to quickly create a character. Anybody who wants to spend a great deal of time can certainly do so through the standard method. It's very slow and methodical, and we'll show you a little bit of how that works. But I'm going to actually skip ahead to the randomize feature, and the reason I like this is it creates a random generated character, giving you a little bit of control over some of the choices, and at the same time you can go in and change the things you don't want, but you make absolutely sure you didn't miss anything, as opposed to walking through it step by step. You might overlook something. So in our Itherverse game, we start all of our characters at level 1. You don't have to pick anything else. And you don't have to pick that. It'll create a character of a high level just automatically randomly. But for the sake of this demonstration, we're going to create a level 1 character based off of the basic rules, which is the SRD rule set, if you will. We'll pick a race because we want to have a little bit of control. We want to play a human, and I'm going to pick variant human because the variant human usually has a feat where the others do not. I will choose a class, and I'm going to specifically choose a spellcasting class. In fact, I'll come down to wizard, and there's a reason for that. There's some limitations to this builder that I need to point out. You could allow multi-class, but we won't do that for this. We will allow feats, and we'll give our character a name. So how about I'm a newbie? Sounds like a good character name. And again, this website is absolutely free. You can store up to, I think, 6 characters, and of course you can access all of these resources without paying a dime. If you want to make a small contribution, a subscription monthly, you can make that unlimited as far as how many characters you can store, but it's a great resource. So as you can see, there is a process. Had we gone through the manual process from left to right, we'd have picked one, race, class, abilities, and then at the very end we would generate our character sheet. Everything has been done. We're ready to look at our character, and we'll do so real quick and see how I'm a newbie turned out. And then we can, at the same time, we can go in and walk through those steps left to right, had you done it that way, and kind of show you what the system did in the background. So I'm a newbie is a wizard, human variant 1. We've already got our armor class, our speed, our perception, our initiative, all our hit points are all figured out for us. Here are our ability scores, and we'll come back to that because you'll notice these are not conforming to the standard array or standard scoring method that is required for Itherverse. So we'll adjust those. But you see all of your attribute scores ability scores have been transferred into your skills. And basically everything has been picked out that could be. You can expand all of these sections and see what was picked, but I want to show you kind of a better way to do that in just a second. Your spells have all been picked. So let's take a quick look at what the character sheet looks like, and you'll see what's missing. So I go here to that little triangle, and I can export the character sheet, which will create the form fillable PDF, which is what you ultimately need to submit to Itherverse if you want to submit a character to play. And yes, it's completely form fillable. You can make changes to it right here if you want to. But I'm going to recommend in most cases you make these changes in the actual tool in the website so that when you level up your character later, they continue through to the PDF, and they're always recorded there. But you'll see that there isn't any personality information. No backstory has been recorded. And there are some general notes about the fact that you have spellcasting, you're a wizard, you have arcane recovery, you have, well, what is that? Unless you look in your book, what is arcane recovery? Your languages are listed, your proficiencies are listed, that's good. But what's arcane recovery? You scroll down and it's not outlined anywhere. Secondly, here on your spell book sheet, if you will, the spellcasting sheet, your 3 cantrips are listed, but there's nothing in the level 1 spells. And most wizards have 4, 5, 6 or more spells in their spell book. And then you just put a little flip next to each one to indicate that it has been prepared or studied for the day. Unfortunately, this is one of the only shortcomings I think of this particular website, is that it leaves that off. So again, I'm going to close the PDF and scroll down here to where the spells are, just to show you that they do exist. Yeah, there are 2 rituals that your character knows. They weren't listed. There they are. There are your rituals. Your spell book and as a whole, here's all the spells that are in the spell book. And as you know, you can probably only prepare 2 of those. I might study that one and that one. Oops. Ooh, can this character only prepare 1 spell? Ooh, maybe not a very good intelligence. So 10 intelligence score. Wow, that's pretty bad. But this is the only one that will show up on the character sheet, is the one that's prepared. And that's kind of counterproductive to what was meant of the character sheet. Lastly, this character does have a feat. It's a special, pretty powerful little feat, and it has a lot of special details depending on how you use it. All these things expand, but none of this is on the character sheet. So what you would have to do is kind of cut and paste or list that information, and there's a place you can do it right here under Other Notes. You can type all, or cut and paste, or type all that information in, and it would appear on your character sheet that way. Or you could, of course, generate the PDF character sheet and type it in manually. So let me jump back real quick. I'm going to go to the edit character function and kind of, again, walk you left to right to how this character was created. So should you choose to be a little bit more manual and not use the randomize feature that I did, or should you like to change some things, you can. So I'm going to start here at the home and work my way left to right. If we'd have done this manually, you give it a name. There's a few different settings you can set as far as how your campaign works and what is and is not allowed. And what does and does not show up, but it's pretty much left to right, top to bottom, pretty straightforward. We can even randomize the name. We can change our character's name here. Let's see what we get. Interesting. Macy Elfspear. Probably more compliant with the actual rules of name generation, if you will. So it's Variant Human, and you can see what some of those details are for Variant Human. And here we have some expandable places where a language was picked. The ability score increases. 2 ability scores were increased because in a human variant you only increase 2 of them. You get a skill and a feat, and you can see how that played out. And again, working left to right, we go to the class, and here's where those selections were automatically made. Proficiencies were picked. Spell casting ability, arcane recovery was picked out of available options. You see how green. Class features is green. If I click on spells, it'll switch to your spell list. You can see what the spells look like and the rituals that were picked and which ones were picked, how that was done. You can hit next here as well. And that's the same as going left to right up here as using these next and previous buttons. Here's something that definitely has to be changed. So we require the use of a standard array at Itherverse. So now we can go in here and we can take these numbers. These are the numbers we can pick from and put the high ones where we want them. So I might want a really good charisma and good constitution. I like to be relatively accurate. Strength, wisdom, not the biggest deal. Pick those, and you'll notice, I don't know if you saw it flash, but when I first started, that little button went away because the character wasn't complete, but now it's complete again. All the calculations have been made, and here's how they were detailed if you want to see how they were made, that create the actual scores that go on your character sheet later. Your description is the background description that you pick through the available list of backgrounds and some of the benefits and features you get from those. But you'll see here, none of the hair, skin, or any of the appearance items have been added. This would be a great time and a great place to add those because we require those in Itherverse as we do alignments. Certainly, you have to pick something there. Faith, if you're in a religion, would certainly need to be picked. And we highly encourage you to create your backstory, which can be added here under backstory. Just hit add notes. Or again, it can be done on the summary sheet at the very end. So equipment, it's pretty much the last thing I need to show you real quick. If you go to equipment, we skip all of the, well, actually let's slide down right here to where it says equipment or gold. As this is a first level character, we're not worried about any of this. The 2 methods that you have are to use well, the only method you have in Itherverse is to use the equipment selection. There is an optional rule in the book for rolling up gold, I guess. But we require you to pick from a list of starting equipment, and you can see how that has been done here. The selection has been made, but you can change it. And holy symbol, prayer book or prayer wheel. So there's some options that can still be picked. Let's see, I can do quarterstaff. I want an arcane focus, so I don't have to pick on the staff. And I want the Scholar's Pack, which includes, there you go, tells me what it's got. Of course, your spell book. The Acolyte symbol gives me a holy symbol. I might just have an amulet of some type. A prayer book, that's fine. And there's your incense and your pouches and such from picking Acolyte as Acolyte starting equipment. So those are the options that we have for equipment. And of course, you need to flesh that out. Finally, what's next is exactly where we landed before, to view the character sheet or export the character sheet. Let's go ahead and export it this time, so it'll create the form fillable PDF, which is the end product we're looking for, and that's what you'll ultimately send in when you are finished. Don't forget to enter all the information necessary for background, personality, and traits, and I would highly recommend you cut and paste information about your spells and your special abilities into the character sheet as well.